Hello, I'm Vine and welcome to Overthinking. Today's topic is long-range portals. How long, you ask? Well, the shortest will be from Earth to the hypothetical planet of Alpha Centauri BB, and the longest to the edge of the observable universe. Because you see, I had an idea of making a video comparing portals with FTL drives in science fiction. But the mechanics of magical doors in space turned out to be nuanced enough that I've changed the video topic instead. So, let's define a portal first, because I'm going with a very general interpretation of just two different points in space, with distance between them being both 0 and any positive value. If that's confusing, this definition includes portals, magic portals, science portals, FTL jump drives, and wormholes. We do not care about their shape, required energy to function, or color. Only that portals in essence teleport things by providing a shortcut of 0 distance through space. As it would be cool to just casually walk between planets light years away. But the question is, when do we actually arrive there? Because since space and time are connected, wouldn't we break the time alongside space here? Before we start with the proper thinking stuff, I would like to remind you that I'm not a theoretical physicist, but just a dude from YouTube that thinks he came up with some interesting conclusions while reading about science fantasy methods of travel. So, with that in mind, let's look at an example on a flat plane, where we simplify space to one dimension of distance and put it on horizontal axis. We will use a light year as our base unit there. Now, time will be our vertical axis, and we will use a year as our base unit here. So, the path of traveling causality, the c, is 45 degrees in relation to both axes. Now, let's take the Earth and the hypothetical planets of Alpha Centauri BB, which are 4.37 light-years apart, and draw for them lines of existence. Those lines represent both planets existing in the future and existing in the past, with the distance between them being the same at any point in time for simplicity. Going from Earth to Alpha Centauri BB normally takes causality 4.37 light-years. Anything traveling slower, like a spaceship traveling at sublight speed, would take much longer, taking a path with sharper angle towards the time axis. If the portal would adhere to the rule of nothing travels faster than causality, then stepping through the portal between the planets would make a person jump not only in space, but also in time 4.37 years into the future to synchronize both events of entering and exiting from the portal. But if the person would go back through the same open portal, or even just changed mind half step and withdrew back to Earth, this person would go back in time 4.37 years, which would break causality. Of course, we can assume that the portal works one way, in essence having an event horizon like a black hole, which would solve the issue. Quite an interesting idea, even present in some fantasy games like Heroes of Might and Magic. But portals typically work both ways, even in scientific papers. So before I make a conclusion, let's reverse the rules of the universe a little, for symmetry. Because you see, anything traveling with the speed of causality does not perceive the flow of time. If your speed is c, your time flow is 0. Unless you interact with something, as this slows down even the light. That makes c the universal now moment. This little quirk of causality led to some wacky interpretations of relativity, in which anything that the observer does not interact with does not currently exist. So, since the light coming from the Alpha Centauri system is 4.37 years old, the current moment of existence of all Alpha Centauri is 4.37 years in the past, and the Alpha Centauri BB of Earth's present day does not exist yet. That is a Reddit-level hypothesis, I know, but trust me when I say that I'm going somewhere with this. When we take this model of relativity, then by opening a portal to Alpha Centauri BB, we will travel 4.37 years into the past. But again, we will break this reverse universe just by going back to Earth through the same portal and traveling back to the future. The only fix is to make the portal a one-way path. As we can see on this diagram, this happens in all cases of portal travel that punch a hole not only through space but also through time. If the points in space open in a different time, the time travel occurs and causality breaks. Except on this exact line only. Because on this line, entering a portal on Earth will be visible on Alpha Centauri BB in 4.37 years, and going back from Alpha Centauri BB will be visible on Earth in 4.37 years. Speed of causality is preserved on its normal distance, even if at the same time causality goes through the portal distance of 0. And that's regardless of different time flows of both planets due to gravity and relative velocities of movement through space. As even if the Alpha Centauri BB time flow would be twice that of Earth, it would still flow proportionally like it always does. And that's it. With high school geometry and midwit logic, I've proven that even if the time travel is not allowed, two-way portals are still possible and don't break C. The relative when of both points just have to be equal to the distance in space between them. Though I don't know if this proof would survive a physics graduate in the comments, so remember to check out those. That's all for today, and see you in the next video!